Good day, everybody. Give us a second here to get things started. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. The man in the box next to me is Mr. Pedro Garcia, the sandwich-eating guru of charts. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a historic day, October 13th, 2025. Nearly 2 years to the day when a horrible invasion took place and terrorist attack. And today that all settled. Hopefully, the peace will take, and hopefully it will lead to 3,000 years of peace, as our great president has hoped for. Anyway, that's besides the point right now. What's besides the point is that the market is reacting positive to this. We were in the doldrums at the end of last week with talks of a tariff war with China, and all it took was settling the Middle East wars to solve that problem. Well, good for everybody involved. Mr. Pedro Garcia, what's happening today on this special edition of DYOR Live Afternoon Edition? Oh, I think you're on mute.
These are great.
There you go. You're good now. You fixed it. Nope, now you're on mute.
Out here.
And
like show the world charts and show them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Pedro apparently has not gotten his new router from the internet company yet. He's still having problems with that.
Oh no.
I can hear you now, sir. Check, baby, check 1, 2.
Hear me now?
I can hear you.
Everything's great. I can't wait to get right into the charts and get people excited about what we have going on, because it's pretty awesome.
Like, totally, for sure. Okay. Yeah,
absolutely. Like, I'm totally excited about what we're going to talk about today, and I'm really excited about what we're going to be going over, because there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm really excited. I really want to talk about it. So.
Well, that's good, Pedro. Yeah. That's good. I'm glad you're excited, like a cheerleader at Beverly Hills 90210. So he's got that going for him today. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we always have a good show for you today.
I gotta take this as my doctor real quick.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Pedro will be back with us in just a moment. I'm putting him on mega mute just in case he turns his mic back on, turn his camera off there. Anyway, what a day today. We woke up to some of the most amazing news and sights. Admittingly, it's a holiday here in Kanukistan. It's Thanksgiving today. Actually, it was yesterday, but today's the observed Thanksgiving. Everyone has a day off from work, and not much going on. However, it means I got to sleep in a little late this morning, and is why our show is late today, because I had holiday stuff to do. But regardless of that, slept in a little late. Didn't watch the early morning news of the hostages being freed live. I've been telling people for a long time that no matter what propaganda they're following to make them march in the street to say Israel's bad, they were the one attacked. And war is something in which if you fuck around, you find out. And that's how it's been since humans first picked up a stick and realized they could bash someone's head in. So anyway, Israel took the business to the offenders of that and gave them the business. And today, Mr. Trump announced a peace deal between all parties involved, and the hostages were returned. All the alive hostages were returned, and they're slowly trickling out the ones that who've perished and their bodies were not returned. An amazing day, I have a lot of good friends. I've worked over in Israel, a lot of good friends over there, along with the missus. She has a lot of good friends too. And it's just been amazing watching the news today. And what was even more amazing was that people are still protesting. They're still protesting, and as I called it here on this show a number of times, they're not protesting because of the bombing of Gaza or anything like that. They're protesting just because of Israel's right to exist. And the entire Middle East now, every country has said, yep, we're going to sign this peace deal and we're going to recognize... Oop, okay, you don't want to see that. Recognize Israel and get on with it and just bury all this. The Middle East knows that their oil's going to run out, and if they're still effing around and fighting each other over there when the oil runs out, nobody's going to go there, and the party will be over for them. And they realized that, and they said, you know what? It's better if we just get on with life, business, and prosperity, and be done with this religious zealotness that everybody has isolated Iran. And Trump has invited the Iranians to the table and said, look, we need to put this behind us and be done with it. An amazing day. And the markets took it quite well. Pedro, I don't know if you're talking or not. I see your screen came back. It must be on the news. All right, so he's on mute again still. But anyway, thanks for watching Fire Chicken. Really appreciate it. As always, if everybody could do us a favor and share the old show here. I believe Pedro is coming back here. There he is, sitting in front of the thing. Let me turn your mic back on, sir. Pedro Garcia, you in the house there?
Yeah. How you doing?
Good. I'm as I said, I'm happy today, knowing that there's families not suffering anymore. Watching in just this one small part of the world, there's families not suffering with their loved ones being held hostage, and potentially a war that. And historical disagreements that have affected roughly 1 billion people could possibly be settled, at least ramped down 90%, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. We waste too much of our tax dollars, Pedro, on this bullshit over there, and we don't have that money to do that. We don't have the money anymore to have 127 military bases in the Middle East, all we want is more green, and that's what happened today on the good news of the peace. Green. The market pumped. BTC pumped from 111 to 114. The Nasdaq gained back, I don't know, a bazillion points or something like that. But that's the good news of the day. Peace equals green, unless you go to the defense companies, and then their stock is probably going to go down. Anyway, Pedro, let's bring up the old chart view here. I'm not running the show timer today here. Let's just wing it and try and do a good job of it. I am going to talk a little bit more about the app, which I've been calling TradeWave, but there's an outside chance we have to rename it. But anyway, as we can see from the old app here, Bitcoin is, well, I think I need to refresh that because that appears to be an old price. Nope, it's pushing up to 160 now. I guess my fiat leak is an old price. I'll refresh that. Do I have my chart up? Oh, sorry, I have my chart up. Now you have your chart up.
Yeah, what futures program do you use?
For what? I use a couple different ones.
When you trade.
I've been using BTCC and Mexi, but I haven't traded at all, and probably, except for that Mexi demo one that I won, I haven't traded at all in a couple of weeks here.
What about CoinW? Have you ever heard of them?
Nope, I have never heard of CoinW. Although there's thousands of exchanges now because it's a GitHub repo and you can just go set up your own exchange. So I don't know anything about the the ones that basically I only know things about the exchanges that are in the news, and the ones that hit my inbox saying we want to scam you. I mean, get you set up as an affiliate.
Mm-hmm. Just wondering. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go into BTC here real quick. We'll go over some cool stuff. So we've been talking about Bitcoin and its sell-off, and it came down to that area of that 109. After the CME open, we saw the gap up, which was around here, and with the CME contract, we saw it kind of sell off a little into the morning. But really, as it was selling off, if you notice a lot of the sell-off as we were coming down at these levels here on Saturday, right? We watched there was a lot of demand wicks coming in on the hour as they were pushing up. Some people were definitely trying to sell it off, but ultimately we saw it pick up, hit that 100 or that 100 period moving average, the 89 moving average here, tried to sell it off again, and it's just going strong. And we've watched some pretty decent volume kind of come in here, especially on Sunday, in the middle of the day. But once the CME opened up here around 6 o'clock, as you guys can see, 6 o'clock open, should be 3, I believe. Let me make sure I'm on the right timing here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, excellent. It's in New York. So it'd be the 6 o'clock open here on Sunday, which would be 1800. You can see here that we've definitely, it's kind of gone sideways here. And so again, with this sideways movement, I'm a bit, lack of a better word, bearish on this market, literally just because I'm watching the market starting to step in and wanting to push this market up. So I'm really kind of excited about that. The biggest thing to be able to pay attention to is this, is that as the market continues up, we want to see it keep going above the moving averages, and we want to see it stay there with demand wicks. So you can see here that we're not really putting in a lot of supply wicks in this sideways pattern, and we're really kind of watching it as it consolidates, pick up volume. And so these are the things that I'm looking at right now, and which is a good showing, saying, all right, we just got done putting a giant demand wick in for the month here. And so with that, seeing that demand wick come in for the month, come down, not week, excuse me, for the month, it just came in, put this in. Now we can most likely go up this week. I'm expecting a up week this week, potentially even an up week into next week, just simply because we've got done putting in the demand wick. And so there you go. Our biggest concern is this, is that if we're going up on the daily and intraday timeframes with less volume, okay, then you need, again, don't trust the rally. Take quick profits as the market is pushing up. If we hit a resistance area, take half that profit, 2/3 of the profit, and see if it continues, right? Until we get to the new all-time high, and it puts that all-time high into the market, then comes back and pulls back. I want to see more volume coming at these levels. So either way, it's going to be looking hot to trot. Get ready to giddy up and go. So yeah, I'm excited about
giddy up and go. Wow, that was an apropos statement. Which
apropos? What does apropos mean?
Very timely. Very timely statement.
It was an. So if I was to use the word apropos and to swap it with in time statement.
It was a at the time in the moment, and with all the conditions surrounding it, a good example is Mrs. Striking just came back from going and seeing a horse, and then you mentioned what did you just get up and go? Get up and go.
Giddy up and go.
Giddy up and go. Right.
And so,
ladies and gentlemen, for all a couple of you that are watching there, let's like and share this. I don't even think I liked it yet. Let me see if I can do that.
And this is a time period that we normally don't come on as well, so it makes sense. Like people are like, "Hey, what's going on here now? What's going on?" But either way, I appreciate every one of you that are watching. Every one of you guys are important to us, whether it's 3 or whether it is 557,000. Either way, we think you're absolutely amazing. Fun fact. They have figured out how to actually help out with cavities by rebuilding the enamel.
I get those infomercials every 3 seconds on YouTube. It's like, I can't, they just bombard me.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the thing is I actually went through to go look at one. I was like, is it really true? And it is. I actually went through, they basically took sheep wool, and
yeah.
Did you hear about this? This is actually real.
I get them on my infomercials. I get hair replacement, your dick's not working, and the teeth enamel stuff all the time.
Well, I
don't have problems with either one of those or any of them.
Well, if you turned on the ability for your algorithm to read you constantly, then you know what? It would be able to suit you better. But the cool thing behind it is my enamel. I was sitting there and I think my enamel's great. I don't think I'm having any issue. But what's cool about it is you can actually go through and just fortify your enamel by these little things. And I sat there and I was like, that is so cool. I follow this science guy and he's always just posting cool stuff. And normally he does stuff on like quantum computers, AI stuff, but he was talking about it. He goes, you ever get those stupid things? I think he was getting them all the time too as well. And so he decided to actually go do like some background to see if it's actually legit. And he was like, it actually is. Like you can actually go through, and then he goes, you could actually do it yourself by creating these little things and doing that. But I mean, you could just go out and buy the actual toothpaste that do it for you. And I mean, it'd be roughly around the same price. And I was just like, huh, how funny is that? I used to think that was a bunch of malarkey, but it's actually legit. And I thought it was a bit apropos.
There you go.
For it just kept popping up. So, because I'd always see him being like, man, that is a bit interesting. But I think it's fake. It's fake. And then I saw him do a thing on it, and I'm like,
hi, my name is
I guess
Karina,
it's real.
And I'm a quantum touch
Who would have thought?
practitioner and instructor.
Oh, here.
I don't want to talk about a couple others. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was getting some feedback in my ear. I just fixed it. Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's okay. It's always good to get feedback, though. You know what I'm saying? People, this is the type of entertainment you get here. Dad jokes and random information. I guess that, you know what? There's got to be something for dad information too. Because you know how dads always have like just random important information you don't need until you need it. Like, make sure when you're taking off the nut on your car for your wheels, you go caddy corner so that it's not hard for you to take off the bottom ones and you might strip the bottom. That came in at the right time. I had a foster father, shout out to Cleo Hildebrand, who taught me that. And I was literally on the side of a highway and I was about to do it. And I was like, oh no, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to go, and I was like, all right, boom.
Star pattern.
Yeah, star pattern. And literally, I just, that was a help. I actually never called that dude up and thanked him. Well, he won't pick up my calls. He doesn't like me. But either way, go forward here. But yeah, there needs to be some like dad jokes and dad information. Something similar. Did you know? Or maybe Cosby information. You know how like when Theo would go up to him and ask him a question, he'd be like, well.
First you drug the women, then you drag them into the bedroom. They will not remember it.
That is horrible, dog. I was not. You went there. Anyhow.
Got nothing. It's not like we're going to offend any viewers today. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, over on the side of the screen next to Pedro right there, take a look at latest iteration of
I love it.
the great pricing graphic machine over there. It is now actually, I'm just grabbing one of the screens from the new TradeWave app. Moving right along here. I've got an alpha version getting ready to come out. It's got the listings of the top 20 cryptos minus the stable coins. I filtered for those. And then when you click on things, it just brings it right up and gives you the pertinent information, the graphs, even a yearly chart down here that tells you the price. Oh, look at that, the price shows the pricing on the certain days. Very interesting, that type of stuff. And then also you can even look up things like Tesla and commodities and stocks and all this type of stuff. Oh, you gotta put the thing in right. Oh. Looks like I have a goof over in that function. Drat. Can't call it up. But anyway, moving right along. Soon to have links to other things too, including. Oh look, there's the videos. Oh, it's not formatting right. We're getting it now. Our latest 5 videos show up there, and other educational videos will show up there as well. And also, Pedro and I have gone over many trades. Pedro's gone over zillions of trades, of which we've written down almost about 0.01% of them. And of those, the viewers have remembered about 0.001 of them. So we needed a place to do that. And now we have a place to do that over on the great graphic machine, the app, which will be available for all. This is just plug information over here, everybody. These are not real things, but our app's going to recount the things that we say on the show when we would like to buy things, where a pricing level would be a good time to buy, all that type of stuff. We'll go over it again later, but that's the pretty cool update for that. And it lists who is giving the advice, whether it's Pedro, Striking, or even if we have, this is obviously not real information, this is plug information, but even if we have a partner who wants to talk about their platforms tokens, such as DeFi Dojo, or even Lunar Pump Fund, the guys from Infineon, if they want to be part of this and things like that, there's a room for future partnerships. But first, Pedro and I just want to get out what the things that we talk about and keep it nice and simple. Buy Solana at $1, sell it at $800. Buy Bitcoin at $15, sell it at 100,000. Looks like Pedro's sound has died again, so let's. Anyway, I thought many of you would be interested in that. Go over, obviously, API rate limit exceeded. Oh, that's one of the problems. Anyway, I think I'm waiting for Pedro's internets to come back. You can tell on this screen here, his internet comes back when his screen comes back right there. All right, still waiting for that. Anyway, let's head over to let's get back to the chart section, and we'll talk a little bit about the Bitcoin in the week ahead. Let's see, where is my chart? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about how the October plan is going. Here's the October plan so far. The October plan, if you see over there, these 5 arrows here are the 5 candles of the week. Let me rephrase that, 5 candles of the month. The first one, as we all know, the beginning of October, the first week, market super pumped. You can see it. I redrew the arrows to match the volatility of the week. So the first week pumped. Second week, if you recall, last week, I was talking about the market coming down, and we're getting all the way to Thursday afternoon, and I was worried about that my prediction would not come true. And thankfully, it took Donald Trump on Friday talking about a trade war to kick it off. And I believed it was coming down anyway, even if Mr. Trump hadn't spoken, is that the pattern was going to be bringing it down. And that happened. It came down dramatically in one of the largest crypto liquidation events of all time. But as far as the total amount of price that changed, big deal. It's recovered a lot already. As we can see, a dip down, or in that little white thing there, it dipped down all the way to 103. People got stopped out all over the place and just cleaned out. And that's why you do proper risk management, because things like that happen. And if you say they don't happen, they will happen. And then anyway, so as you can see, the third arrow here from the left is starting the upward trend. In the past weeks, I said it kind of, if the last week of the month or the second to last week of the month is going to be a big down week again, then it's got to go up before that. So this is the week it's got to go up. If we follow the up to go down or down to go up routine that generally plays out. But that doesn't mean it needs to go up a lot. It can just consolidate a little bit. And that. So this week I'm looking for that third arrow. Just according to this plan, no other technical indicators that Pedro comes up with, just the play out of the month. And so far we're 2.5 weeks for 2.5 weeks here. Pedro, you got some sound? Oh, look at this. It seems to be coming back right now. There we go.
Yay.
Oh, just died again. All right, well, Pedro works on his sound. We'll wait for that. Anyway, well, looks like it's coming back. Looks like it's coming back.
Okay. Yay. All right.
Pedro hath returned. Anyway, Pedro, while you were waiting for that, I don't know if you had your other speaker on listening, but I was just talking about how that October is shaping up since the first of the month when we put a plan together, and it was just recounting the glory in the fact that the first week and second week went according to plan. Oh, there it goes again. And the third week is starting according to plan. And because, I guess you can't hear me now, can you? All right, well, let's punt on that for a second here. Just waiting for Pedro's at the behest of the cable company in his area, and they're a little slow. I should say they're a lot slow. So I don't know if he's back or not. No, he is not back. Can't hear you, sir. I see your lips are moving, but we can't hear you. Anyway, welcome to Crypto Unicorns in the house. Thanks for joining us. Always good to have a unicorn in the house. Yep. We can hear you now, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sirree.
Yes, sirree. It's exciting times. Yeah.
I especially love the sound of your other microphone because it reminds me of that small room in which you have a porcelain seat there. That's what it sounds like. But we all know that you're actually in front of your computer there today.
Yes. Yes. You gotta love it. Love it. Love it like a fat kid and a chocolate cake. Yeah. Sound like it's that guy who always talks like this. And beam me up, Scotty.
Beam me up, Scotty. Where is our? Did I not set that?
Jim.
Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer.
Darn it, Jim. I'm a baking, cheesy, eating human. I'm not a mere doctor. I am like the Flash 2.50. Okay. Alrighty. And I'm getting feedback until this thing can work itself out. Alrighty then. Can you see my screen, my peoples? I want to bring up a couple things here. I think it's something to highlight.
Yeah, we can't see your screen because that's linked to your sound issue.
The thing is I can hear you on these, which means that I am connected.
Check,
It's
baby,
all the
check.
standard.
1, 2.
Check, baby,
Yeah,
check, baby.
Hold on, I'm gonna do a quick test here, Pedro. Let me know if you can keep hearing me count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah,
6,
I can hear you.
7.
Yep.
Wow, that's weird because you don't even appear in the studio thing, and yet you can hear me. That's really strange. So now you should be hearing me twice then, through your speaker and through your headphones. All right, well, I'll deafen your speaker. Now you should only hear me once. Check, baby, check. 1, 2. I can't hear you anyway. All right, we're just not gonna do that. I'm not gonna mess with it. I'll just wait for your shit to come back. Anyway, you were mentioning that you wanted to talk about something. Why don't I bring it up on my screen when you do so? All right, I guess you can't hear anything now. We can't hear you, Pedro, if you're using your other microphone. Your phone must be on mute.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, you should be able to hear me now.
I can hear you, just your screen link is dead.
It's funny because I'm seeing it actually show in the studio that it is working. So I don't understand why it's not working.
All right, hold on. I'm going to refresh something, see if I can help it out. All right, check, baby, check. 1, 2.
There we go.
I think I brought it back. Should have your screen now.
Dude, I love, even though it sounds kind of like a 70s like jazz studio, I love this beat here.
Am I sending the music to you? Oh, I didn't realize I was sending that to you.
No, it's
Yeah, it's
through
called-
the music. It's similar. I like it.
Well, I have no idea why. Let me refresh one more thing here. All right, now you're back, fully back. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back. Beware, hide your women. He's back.
What?
I'm not even the type that would even talk to your woman. I'm just shy. What are you talking about?
If anything, your woman would come bother me, and I wouldn't even. I'd be like standing there. I don't even know what to say.
Hey, yo, I want to buy your women. How much? How much to sell your women to me? That's from the Blues Brothers.
What are you talking about, bro? Okay, let's just move along. I want to talk about Binance here real quick. Okay, Binance sold off pretty strong from this whole entire thing. It was up at 1,300 and sold all the way off to 18. What is it right here? 860. I mean, that's a substantial amount of sell-off. That's almost 500 points, 400 points there.
Yep.
And when you think about it, that's almost 20+% of a sell-off that we saw come in. It bounced specifically off of, and this is why I look at the 100 and the 400 as targets, typically for huge sell-offs. Like just like with Bitcoin, right? Like people are like, where do you think we see a huge sell-off? Where will it go to? It typically will go to I know what we can do Monday. We can call it Monday instead of Monday meme coins. We can call it Money or Monday market manipulation day. So
Monday market manipulation.
Yeah, and it's because there's so many of these that they play. They all kind of play the same way, but it's still like it's they use some form of fundamental news, and then they will always sell it off to a technical indicator. And in that technical indicator, it gives you a good little go. And so you can see here that they came to the 100 period moving average, which is the yellow line you see right here. And so a lot of times if you look at people, they'll say when you're looking at your 100, like on your 1 minute or on your 5 minute, look at the 100 and 200 day period, or the 100 or 200 period moving average, because a lot of times they want to sell it down to those technical areas where there's typically going to be buyers there or really shorts. I mean, there's so many shorts sitting underneath here because this was a technical area of a previous high where people pushed through the market. And so then bringing it all the way down here, something, I mean, it's just textbook sell-off, crazy situation. You see the sell-off, and imagine all the people who bought in at that 850 area, 860 area here. I mean, even 900, you're still sitting huge. I mean, 20%.
Massive gains. I was talking to this one person a while ago, and he said, yeah, I trade every day, but I don't really trade every day. I said, what do you mean by that? He goes, I just put orders in and I don't pay attention to it. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, I open Bookmap, I see where the farthest out of the way liquidity line is, and I put a whole bunch of buy orders there. So when the market dumps and people get stopped out and sell, I'm buying their liquidity. I'm buying their sells. And it always comes back up above it. He said every once in a while it'll also blow through that level and go hit my stop. He said, so I just put them in. He said sometimes I'll go 3 or 4 days without looking at the market. And then he said, or a week or 2, and then until I hear there was a massive dump or massive news or something like that, then I'll go look and I'll be like, oh, hey, look, my trades got hit and I'm up 50%. And you're just like, I was like, man, all the work we put into it, and then there's guys that do that. And I'm sure we don't hear the horror stories of him getting wrecked also, but still, when you buy other people's panic sells, that's very, very commonly a good thing.
Truth. And on a side note, we saw BNB today get all the way up to all-time highs again, get to 1375. And now we're seeing a bit of a sell-off because all the liquidity that's right here, right? There's all those stuff that just got hit right here. But still, it's one of those things, man. I'm looking at it just going like, man, they tapped out all these people right here, all the stops below here, all the stops below here, right? Came in, tapped off of here, this area, pushed it up, and now they're hitting the liquidity right here. And they're running amok. I wonder how many people are pissed.
I think of all those people that got stopped out down at 900, or just at 1,000. They're just like, oh, I'm up in the profit, especially if they got a high leverage trade, and so they're way in the profits. They're up 1,000% or something crazy like that. They've 10x their money, turned $1,000 into 10 grand or something crazy, and then just in one 20-minute, one 20-minute thing, hour. It's gone. Like I said, it reminds me of my buddy 06 Rob. He was the guy that went bankrupt on trading the New York Stock Exchange futures because he went to lunch.
What happened?
Well, he went to lunch on 1989. October of 1989, not 87 with the huge drop. October of 89, we had it was a massive drop in the Dow. It was like 127 points. And 06 Rob was a broker from one of the brokerages that I worked for at the time. 06 was his office number. And he left. He went to lunch without having any stop orders on. And while he was at lunch, he went bankrupt. Took him, I think I told you this, it took him 4 years to make the money back. and I answered the phone 4 years later at a different firm. He went to a different firm, and I ended up at a different firm. And it wasn't 4 years. I think it was 2 years. Anyway, doesn't matter. I pick up the phone, and he's like, "This is 06 Rob." I said, "Hey, it's Tom." Yeah, I was like, "Where'd you go?" He goes, "Where'd you go?" I said, "I switched companies." He goes, "I went bankrupt." Just didn't have stops. He lost all his money and all his clients' monies. And he said, "I got sued." He said, "Thankfully, he said my insurance and the firm's insurance covered the lawsuits, but worked it back, and now I'm making money again." I was like, "Wow!" Just like trading. These poor saps on the BNB, they got hosed.
But here's the thing that I think that's interesting though. Your buddy 06 Rob, he actually had a system that he had an edge in the market, and he worked it.
Yep.
That's the thing, right? Is that, that's one thing I do like. That's why I'm so adamant about everybody, when you trade, that you tally your trades and create a system where you can find an edge. All you need is 0.5% of an edge. So 50%, you just need 0.5. So 50.5% of an edge in the market, and you could be a millionaire. Absolutely, and get it back. Now it may take you, a long time to get there, but over a slow period in time, you just keep doing the same thing over and over, and you make it back. That's why I always try to let people know, especially with our show, is that it's not hard to find an edge. What's hard is the discipline to stay with that edge. That's really the skill set.
Check out this picture here I got up on the screen of CZ when he was a kid. This man didn't even have $1,000 in his pocket once. Now he's one of the richest people in the world. He stole this money from you through manipulation. Let's take back what he took from us and send BNB to zero. Oh, this guy's that guy's pissed. I just grabbed that off of Twitter. That guy's pissed off. He must have got stopped out in BNB. That's what happened to him.
There's no way you're.
But then there's this guy. Oh wait, that's Cointelegraph just saying BNB reached a new all-time high of 1375. It must have been earlier today because it's now only at. Let me refresh that.
I'm gonna pull up something here that I actually drew. I sent this to I think a friend of mine. I don't know if we're friends or not. But I sent it to him saying, "Hey, the market's going to end up selling off, and this is where we're going to go." And I'm not doing this to like showboat myself. I'm saying this because we talked about this area here that I've mentioned a couple times, because these areas are where things.
Hold on, which screen are you on?
Okay, I'm bringing it over here. So this is the area that I sent him. I said, this is when the market was up here. And he was asking me, as the market was peaking out, this is when the market was at its all-time high at that 240 for Aster. And this individual was really heavily weighed in Aster. And I said, don't put all your money in. The market's going to sell off down to this area here. He was asking me because he wanted me to know, he wanted me to talk about, the chart. And I knew it was putting in seller weight. And I was on a space. I didn't want to talk about it. But I said to him, I said, "Dude, I'm telling you, they're going to sell it off. Let people know that they're going to come down here so you to pick up, like, and to save powder for this area here." And he never looked at it saddens me because he never looked at this. And sure enough, right, we saw it come down, push back up, and then come all the way down to my area. Now, this was the area of support that we were going to finish. This is where the picture what I showed him. And then I also showed us this level right here, right? Which was the lower area here. of that 89 to 86 area. It got pretty close, but pretty much stuck around 99. What was the low here? The low was 99 cents. So you can see here that this area here was really where the buyers were sitting at and where they were really trying to push. We saw the market find support right here at this level for Aster. And we also, as the market was up at these levels here, we were talking about when the market when this market was a few days old. And I said, expect the market to come down into these lower levels because they still haven't filled up their bags. And so they're going to want to fill up their bags, and they being institutions. And I talked about how, we're in a playground where there's no yard duty. And really, and I'm not joking around when I say this, the bully is a brilliant genius and logical thinker of the world who understands how it works, and they are ruthless and they will hurt you. So be on their side because there's nobody there to protect you because we're in DeFi. That's literally where we sit, until really there is some form of legislation. But even then, DeFi is set up in a way where it's just it's like playing street football, right? That's really what it is. It's like playing street football or catch up basketball game on Saturday mornings, right? Or pickup basketball game on Saturday mornings, right?
I gotta tell you, I was gonna say, I tell you, the Aster people were quite delusioned after this sell-off the other day. They were in full send mode. I've stayed out of it because I'm waiting for it to come back down to the levels that you talked about. And I realized a couple of things. A lot of people made a lot of money on that thing on its pump from 5 cents all the way up to $2. And those people are going to wind out. They're going to sell eventually, or at least sell, 60 to 70% of their position and reinvest that elsewhere and keep a moon bag. So it's going to come down. But that didn't mean Alex and crew weren't super pumping this thing and be like, man, I'm so bullish. This thing, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, they're trading $17 billion in a past 24-hour period on the DEX for Aster. Just Aster itself has $2 billion traded.
It's 10%, man.
That doesn't mean hyperinflation of the price. That means the hyperinflation has happened, and once people spin out, we got to wait for people to spin out, bring it down to your level, and then I think it will start climbing well, just like BNB did.
Very well. Yes. BNB. If you look at BNB's chart, it did this, but went below the low. Like when you look at BNB, and I honestly think that CZ really made his money when BNB sold off when it first went up and then came back down. And I think he probably bought as much as he could while it hit the low, because here I believe this is going to be because of the perpetual futures and the density, the proclivity for people to make money and not be able to be taxed on it. Perpetual futures and DeFi will never go away. I don't care how the government tries to sit there and ban it and do all this stuff. It's not going away. It's not. Because I can keep that money outside the United States, travel, or whatever country I live in. And not that I'm doing this because that would be against the law. But if people who are out there making tons of money the same way, and all of a sudden we see, like they know that they can travel outside the United States. They can use that money with stable coins to go wherever they want. It's just you're not going to get around that. Just like you're not ever going to stop, and this breaks my heart, like prostitution. Just because that's a basic need. People who thieve, people who want girls for whatever, like it's horrible stuff. The only thing you can do is mitigate it and keep it at its lowest form, right, of entry. In the same sense, that's how the decentralized system works. And so what you can do is, with those same people, they want a product at its lower price, and then they want to see appreciation of that value. And so you can see right here, this is where you're seeing it, right? Like, I think it might even go below here. I don't think CZ will allow it because I'll make him look really bad. But I see this literally selling up. Why isn't this going? Come on. Right, whatever. So I do expect it to stay around this area, maybe come down to that 89 cents. I like this $1 area. I think the $1 area is a good area of a potential retest. The key that we're looking at really is that I like this area of the 150, the 130, the 189. I think these are areas of good buyers because, again, we saw a lot of people step in at these levels here. Like, see the push up, boom, they're going to sell off against on them. But like this area here, the $1 area, this could be in 4 or 5 years a $100 coin. Like, absolutely. Like, to see this, I would not be shocked if this became the central a DeFi futures platform that gets just propagated, where institutions know that they can come in, they can bring in billions of dollars. They don't have to worry about being stop hunted, and they can sit there and play this in a safe manner for them, right? And again, it allows the big, brilliant, smart bully to be the bully on the playground or in the street. You know, like. It's just a decentralized system, and there are bullies there. And so understanding where they want to push this market is important to understand. When there's a lot of money to be made to it going down versus it continuing up, you need to have both cycles in your brain, understanding how they're thinking. And the best way to sit there and see it, as my voice cracks, sorry about that, is look at the wicks. Look at the wicks. Look at the wicks. Look at the wicks. The wicks won't ever lie to you. Right? Look, boom, top, sell off. Start to push up, top, sell off, boom. Look at volume. Even it's dropping, boom. Right? Like, look at the volume. It was dropping. You're forgetting it's not dropping. Volume was dropping, boom, boom, boom. Again, it wasn't increasing as it was trying to go up. All of a sudden, we see the sell-off, right? As we're seeing the sell-off, we're watching a lot of seller volumes come in. Then, as it pushes up, the volume here doesn't equate to the volume of the sell-off. So you know this is a false rally, right? Boom. Then we watch it sell off again. Boom. Come here. This bottom out, right? We don't see a ton of real buyers, but we see buyers step in and pushes the market back up. But we see the same thing again. Seller wick, topping patterns, right? Those wicks are what communicate the real basis of a pre-market move, right? Because it says if you see a lot of seller wicks, that means that people are going through and literally taking profit from FOMO. So if you're looking to buy in where there's a bunch of seller wicks happening, that means that you're the exit liquidity. And if you feel this insatiable need to want to get into a trade, you're being tricked, emotionally manipulated to get into the market. When you can logically sit there and say, okay, right here is actually a good spot because I've seen, right, what Pedro was saying, where I'd see a lot of demand wicks, a lot of buyer wicks coming in, and it's bouncing off a 100-day or 100 period moving average on a 4-hour coming in, on a 3-hour, and it's bouncing off a 2-hour, on an 8-hour, right? Those things are important to be paying attention to, right? Like, look right here, 400-day period moving average. We came in, boom, started bouncing, hit it, boom, put more buyer wicks in, went back up, right? Boom, you saw the sell-off come through. Obviously, if you look at the higher time frame, that's why I always look at the higher time frames, right? Because higher, you can see right here how we were put in seller wicks, not a lot of demand. Oh, so, and this is what they do. Always what they do. It never changes. But people just they see the money and they're like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. And I believe you will. You just gotta learn how to control your emotions. News-wise, I thought what was really interesting over the weekend that Morgan removes restrictions on Bitcoin and crypto investments for all clients. I thought that was really interesting. I know, right? Like I was like, holy crap. Then we see Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, Citigroup, and basically a major global bank are basically collaborating on plans to launch joint stablecoin initiatives. And that to me, when I saw all of those, like the big bank, like I would say those are really one bank. That's one family of a bank, because all the CEOs come from each CEO or executives come from each bank, right? So they're all together. And with them coming together and saying they're going to create their own stablecoin, I was like, holy crap. This is like, you know what's going to be next? Corporate stablecoins, where you're going to have, Walmart, and you're going to have Walmart, you'll have Amazon, you'll have Netflix come together and be like, all right, we're creating our own stablecoin. You'll have Tesla, Google, right? A lot of these other guys who are frenemies battle and to trade against these other, I would almost call them sector stablecoins.
76 Norton says no. No.
Oh, tell me why. What are your thoughts?
I don't know if he's on time. He might be behind or something like that. I don't know. 76 Norton, let us know what your thoughts are on that. Also, welcome to Kaching. Thanks for joining us. Kaching, hope you're enjoying the show. The new look for the show with the great graphics machine. Hope you're enjoying our great advice and saying don't buy Aster until it comes back down a little bit more. And then before you go and get yourself rich on that. But 76 Norton, as Pedro says, good to have all of you here. Appreciate it. Welcome to. We'll just reintroduce the show. Hey everybody, I'm Tom. This is Pedro. To the massive amount of people watching us right now. Huge. I know many of you probably don't know us. My name's Tom, also known as Striking here in the digital media world. Clean-shaven man next to me is none other than Pedro Garcia, crypto chart analyst. We do a daily show called DYOR Live, usually on from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. Today, it's a holiday in a couple of countries of the world, and so we got a late start today on that. And just kind of going over the markets in this crazy time of last week's announcement in which China says it wants to control all the rare earth materials in the world, and Trump saying, no, go F yourself, and then later backtracking on that and softening his stance a little bit. And then today's peace announcements have caused the markets, it's sent the VIX volatility thing like this, boop, 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 which is good for day traders, but not the ones that got stopped out in the moves that they didn't expect. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome, 76 Norton. Says he just got here. No, buy XRP. Yeah, buy XRP if you want to go broke. I'm just gonna. Just kidding. I faded XRP since they were 10 cents. And like Pedro had someone tell him, okay, who cares if you hate it? It's making everybody money. That's when you realize, right, I gotta put the biases away and just buy things that make money. Although I'm not convinced that XRP is ever gonna make any money compared to their expense ratio. If I were to look at their books, I'm guessing that I would find horror, just absolute horror in their books. But anyway, welcome to the show. Kaching and 76 Norton, are you West Hollywood? Is that where you are, if I recall? Kaching, obviously, from the great state of pollution and poison of forever chemicals, Minnesota. From the great company of Minnesota Manufacturing and Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing. Is that what it is? 3M? No, he's not. I can't remember where you're from anyway, 76 Martin. Anyway, welcome to the show. Going to the moon. It's definitely not going to the moon. It may go up to 6 or 9, but it's not going to the moon.
I mean, XRP, even if it gets up to 9, I think, like I said, I expect to see at the end of this bull run a market cap, realistically, of 6 trillion, because the last bull market we saw the market cap of crypto get to 3 trillion, and then it pulled back to 1 trillion, or I think it was like 900 billion, and then shot back up to 4 billion. I think it's sitting at 4.5 billion the last I think I looked. And I think what's interesting is
I thought you had XRP up. Sorry. You got
it's okay. I can
BNB.
It's okay. We can do XRP as well. XRP is cool. XRP was one that really also sold off hard. It went from 270 literally all the way down to $1. So I thought that was really interesting because I felt like
seriously?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was looking at it going like I honestly thought about this was a couple months ago though. It's because I was looking at this area and I said that $1 area right here is prime because they already tried to tap into this one here, this zone. Yes. They already tried to tap into the zone with this sell-off. So this area would be the next area. And I said, if we have some crazy event, the next area that I would want to buy XRP would really be that $1 area, that 105 to $1 area. And man, it literally nailed it. Like, I was like, are you serious? It literally,
I had no idea it dumped so hard. What was that, Friday or Thursday?
Yeah,
Friday.
No, this was Friday. I looked at it this weekend going like, oh, how brilliant. And they played it. I said, this is how I would have played it. That's exactly how I would have played it. Is at that level right there, just boom, tap it. And they literally tapped everybody out. Look, it literally hit right below the zone. like just wrong. This is wrong. Here's the zone. And they literally took everybody's stop below it. All these people thought they were safe. And imagine like being like, oh, like they get in at $1 thinking, oh, I'm safe. It's all the way up at $2, $3. There's no way we're going to see it come down. And we talked about it coming down to that, 120.
20 minutes later, you're in the bread line.
But here's the thing. If you've learned anything from me, you know that I always say, if you made it in trading, you can make it again, right? And it's all about...
Or just take profits. And if you're taking profits, paid the trader, then if the price goes down, you're like, oh, my moon bag got wrecked, but I still paid the trader.
Yeah, and I'm always talking about always taking your profit. 60 to 70% of that trade on that 1-to-1 ratio, because I know people are like, dude, that's such a huge amount. You only have 30 to 40% to let run. Well, that 30 to 40% compounding over the run is great, but that 70% 1-to-1 ratio is huge. You're doubling your bag every day almost if you take that 1-to-1 ratio. And this is where people like sit there and go, that's crazy. Look, you may not become instantly rich, but you'll get wealthy over time. And that's how I look at it. Within 4 to 5 years, you'll be sitting on a nice little nest egg of $300,000 to $400,000, right? And remember, I always talk about if you're making 2 to 3 cents a day, which doesn't seem like a lot, but within 2 or 3 months, you're then making maybe 15, 20 cents, 30 cents. And then again, another 2 or 3 months, now you're making $3 to $4. Then within the next month, you're making, within 3 to 4 months, which would be a year after that, you're making $5 to $10. That's not a bad week or not a bad year. Now you're like, well, I'm only making my first year. I only made maybe $200-$300, maybe $400 your first year. But then your next year, remember, you were making cents. Now you're making tens of dollars. So then your second year, now you're making the first 2 or 3 months, right? You're making $10 to $15, boom, a day, $10 to $15. Then the next quarter, now you're making $30 to $40, $50. Then the next quarter, you're now making $50 to $100. And what happens is, by you just accumulating, by the end of your second year, now you're making a few $100s. Right, now this is your second year. Your third year, obviously you're going to understand how the math works.
Right.
And so the compound interest really works, but you just got to make sure you have a distinctive plan that you follow, that you know that works, and you go. And that's why I always say, for me, like, I have a plan that has an edge in the market, but then at the same time, I want to take my money and fill up my bag, because it's going to pay off, and it allows you to be able to keep trading and keep growing and paying the bills. Now, obviously, starting off at a couple cents, you're not going to do that, but that's the analogy, because mostly anybody can do that, whether you're in a third world country or you're in a you're in a good spot in America or in another wealthy nation, right? So it's just those small little details anybody can do. I believe that anybody can do this. You just got to discipline yourself and work it out.
We can work it out. We can work. Who's that? Who's that? The 80s or not? We can work it out. Well, actually, it might be late 70s.
Let's see how this works.
Strangely enough, BNB is the only one that's down right now. Bitcoin's up for the day. Ethereum's up for the day. BNB down almost 1.78%. Great graphics machine telling us Solana back up 207, up 5% today. Doge.
That was the one we
That's
saw.
0.2%.
I was hoping we were going to see that 147, 144 area come in, but it bounced off of the 200 and 400 day period moving average, like to a T, bro. Look, it literally came down right here and established orders and then just pushed it up. Like how brilliant, like getting in at 174 and then riding it all the way back up to 207 was brilliant. Like, I don't know who got in on that, but that was an epic trade. This would have been the area you would have wanted got in on that 400 and 200 period moving average, like, because we had already traded through right here, and so you would have seen right here when you price that is on the 10th, 201. 201. 201 right here. Yeah, it literally just cut this like butter. Ooh, cut it. Like,
All right, well, I got a question for you here, Pedro. That all these, in this big drop that happened on Friday, everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, all the projects came down to some level. Like there, you just talked about how it came down right into the 400 and 200 area. On XRP, you mentioned that liquidity level that was. I'm still under the impression that we're gonna see another down arrow, like I have on my screen right now. That means another liquidity level below would be reached. Like for BNB or Solana, whatever you get up there, what's the next level? I see you got something green drawn there on the Solana map. What's that next level there?
Yeah, so that's actually 147 to 144 area. And you also have a liquidity pool sitting right below it as well. So I'm gonna move this to here. And you can see here.
I'm gonna put in a buy order there. I'm gonna get crazy, Pedro.
Cool. Do it small though. Don't do extra crazy.
And in related news, Solana goes to $6 again. Herlihy is bankrupt.
But in the same sense, give yourself. But this is a full-on day move. Like this would typically come in, and let's make sure that there is a.
Kaching, you're right. Of course, it's the Beatles. We can work it out. Right. Good call there.
That was the whole entire thing with what's her name? They say she broke up the Beatles. Kono, or what's her? Como?
Yoko Ono.
Yuka Ono. That's who it was. Yeah. Do you think she did, or do you think just the guys were just tired of each other?
I don't know. They were only together a few years. I mean, we got bands together going on. I mean, Rush is going on tour again this summer. You know, Foreigner's going on tour. I mean, Ozzy just died, but he never stopped touring. I mean,
yeah.
There's plenty of bands that have been. I mean, U2's been around 30 some years now. Stones are going on 740 years or something like that. You know? They were friends with Christopher Columbus, for God's sakes. They were like, "Hey, here's our buddy. We're going off to the New World. Oh, good luck with that. We're gonna form a band." And then the Beatles, they weren't even that together that long. I mean, McCartney, he had Wings for 12 years or something before he stopped that and went out on his own. The Beatles were from, 61 to, or 62 to 67 or something whenever they break up.
Oh, were they really that short?
They cranked out a lot of songs though.
How long was Piano Man going for?
Piano Man? That song's about 4 minutes long. That's bad humor. I mean, Billy Joel?
Billy Joel, there you go. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the afternoon version of DYOR Live here. Not talking about what the market's going to do. We're talking about what the markets did today. Oh, that's not true. We're also talking about what's next for them. Still thinking that we're going to go down. This should be an up week or a consolidating week, and then next week is going to be a down week. That's my prediction, just based on how October needs to play. If it's the hunt for Red October and we end up with a down month, you'll see more consolidation. But of course, with the news out of Washington, who knows? But if we do the hunt for the green October in the fifth week, we'll see the big pump up. For some reason, something will come through. The government will come back. That's what we need to do, is pay attention to Polymarket and guess when the government comes back. Because when that comes back, the government will be all set to spend a whole bunch of money and the market will pump. So that's the plan.
On a side note, Russia is to allow banks to conduct crypto-related activities under strict regulations, which I thought was really interesting as well. That came out this weekend. Yeah,
you know what the strict regulation is? Send 5% of every transaction to a wallet in Kazakhstan, or I'm sorry, not Kazakhstan, in Belarus. That's Putin's secret wallet, so he can make tons of money. Kaching says Billy Joel and So It Goes is a really good documentary.
And so it goes. President Trump basically threatens a mass increase of tariffs on China products coming into the United States. And with that statement, he literally caused everything to completely implode on itself. And
Dumpamundo.
I mean, with that statement alone, it literally just shot down. And part of me almost wonders, was it China? Was it China that basically texted Trump and said, "You think that's bad? Try us."
But nobody's pushed back on China for so long, and all you got to do is make them look bad publicly, and you can win the argument against China. They've got all sorts of problems they need to deal with. They don't need to create more problems. I realize this resource issue is a big thing for them, but the U.S. and Canada have lots of resources that we're just not exploiting, because for so long in Canada they still don't let you exploit them. They're like, oh, we're gonna mine for lithium. Oh my God, no! There's a caterpillar that you gotta move all 20 trillion of them and their spores out first. And in the U.S. it's not as bad, but it still takes a long time for regulatory issues. And I think the U.S. is doing two things. Any natural resource that is controlled by the Chinese, we're going to try and innovate out of our products. Like they're already innovating lithium out of our products, even though Canada is a massive lithium provider, and other things, and tried not to use products that they have to buy from China. And China will be left like, oh shit, we blew it. Now we got this high debt, got all these unemployed people here. Oh look, a revolution. Oh, let's go join the guys in Taiwan.
Oh man, do you remember how you said Jim Cramer is telling everybody to buy crypto a couple of weeks ago? How you talked about that, and I said,
yeah, what
expect
happened?
it to sell off.
Bada bing, bada boom, down and done. That's what happened. Kramer just sitting there, he broke man.
He's the one who basically was trying to get us to buy crypto so that he could send the liquidity to them. This man is a legend at this. A legend. He's brilliant. He's brilliant at it. Interesting also, if Trump pardons CZ, do you think he might pardon SBF?
There's no way for SBF. I mean, I don't think CZ will get a pardon either, because I mean he actually violated money laundering laws and said in his email saying, please disregard U.S. law. You know, they're not, basically he said, they're not going to catch us. Let's take those drug dealers' monies and cartel money, and that's not one of these gray area political crime things like, well, that's actual crime. So I don't think he'll get a pardon, and I don't think SBF will, because he actually harmed so many people who lost money. Admittingly, the market was a disaster back then, and a lot of people should have lost money. Yeah, people will be outraged if an SBF pardon. Plus, I think the joint does him well. You know, they keep his hair cut apparently, and I think he's got a boyfriend or two there. You know, it's good for him. Nice, you know, three meals and a hot cot every day, or three hot meals and a cot. All good there.
Did you say cot or? All right, we'll leave that one.
Cot with a T.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I can't believe you just said. It's like 3 meals and a. I was like,
so Doc, you using the whole fist there?
You must be a favorite among the. Anyway. So let's move forward. This is crazy. Trump, Eric Trump basically talks about a few weeks ago that the fourth quarter is going to be an unbelievable quarter for crypto ever. And I think he's looking really bad at this period. But I do think that like crypto.com, which he is creating a treasury behind, is actually going. I think he's like, somebody bought a ton of crypto on Sunday. I don't know who did, bro, but somebody came through and bought all this. I'm actually mad because I should have had some powder down here at these low levels here. But I knew that we were going to get down to this level and potentially down to that 11 cent area, but I'm mad that I didn't get in on those. So yeah, but real nice though. Nice little pullback. The World Liberty Finance token. By the way, do you know how it's doing, the World Liberty Finance token?
Let's bring it up here on the great graphics machine here. Oh, rate limit. Why would the rate limit be exceeded? Too many requests.
Oh my goodness. Ouch. Ouch. Man. Talk about a dump. It literally went from 32 cents, sold off, 21 cents, and then bottomed out at 16, went up to 25 cents, then just took a dump. I mean, dropping the boys off at the pool over here, looking at that. Look, 8 cents. Talk about hurting. I mean, it's hurting. Wow. It's almost, what is it? 400%. It is negative 400% from its original
But
value.
Pedro, right where my finger is here, if you can see it, that red candle before the green, before the dump, was a big sell-off. And is that the daily chart? Yeah, everyone said, hey, kind of weird that the WLFI sold off a massive amount of stuff right before the dump. They must have had insider information. I mean, well, may not have direct inside information, but, they're in the know as to what's going on and who's meeting with whom and all this type of stuff, and probably who gets phone calls from whom. And if you know that China's going to be calling, or if there's rumors, China's sending around letters about natural resources and things like that, Mr. Trump's going to pipe up about it, and that's going to be bad for the market. And turns out that was correct. Yeah, World Liberty Financial market cap still $4 billion. So what was their market cap before? You're on mute, sir. There?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got it. It's got it coming through your phone now.
That's okay. Don't know why it's doing this, but it's doing it. Okay, so what's nice though about I think all of that situation is that the fact is that good old market manipulation shows me that the market is healthy. Honestly, it sounds horrible, but it's almost a part of the way the system works. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, I mean, how many people left the meeting saying that they're about to close down the freaking economy, and you had how many people go and sell their stock portfolio that would hit the hardest, right? Like we know that our friends over in Fox News did it, as well as people who were on both sides of the aisle, right? Whether you're Republican or Democrat, you saw that. Tom, you there?
I am. I thought I didn't know you were stopped talking. I said yes, I did. I do know what you're talking about.
Definitely.
Although there really hasn't been much both sides of the aisle stuff to talk about at all. Even although today there was, even Hillary and Bill Clinton congratulated Donald Trump on the issue, and a lot in the Pelosi and crew at the time when I last looked into it an hour or so ago. They mentioned that, in fact, Pelosi said something about now we need to do this, and a bunch of Republicans piped up on her X account going, "What do you mean we? Who's we, mother effer?"
Well, I wish they wouldn't do things like that, because again, it just divides the parties, and that's what we can't have. Like, let this peace scenario, regardless. I believe the American people know that Trump was one of the primary people who really pushed hard for this. And we're seeing it now happen. Now, I've seen enough Christian dogma to sit there and say, oh, this is the peace deal potential before the Antichrist comes and shows up and he breaks the deal. Dude, I'm like, brothers and sisters.
Mental hospitals over there.
Well, I want to say like that, man. It's part of people's beliefs, right? Like I'm not going to sit there, and it is part of a Christian thought process, a large part of a Christian thought process of the end times. So I'm not going to sit there and bash somebody's ideology and beliefs that I once believed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to sit there and be like, But what I do want to add though to this is that even if it may or may not be part that, like you have a form of peace and there are lives that are being saved here for a time, and celebrate the win, because you playing the other end is you're not celebrating and you're not wanting the good for your country, which is spoken in Jeremiah. Pray for this safety. You're like, hey, guess what? You're not going back to Israel. So pray for the actual country that you're in, which was Babylon. That's where we get this. I have a good plan for you. Plans to prosper you. Plans to give you hope in a future, right? Like, don't be the sore thumb. If you need to tell truth, tell the truth, but then also be like, cool. We're seeing peace, which is a good thing. So, just throwing it out there for people.
Pedro, you know what else is very, very peaceful?
Tell me about it.
The NFL.
Oh, really? Tell me.
Very, very peaceful. Hey, football fanatics, are you ready for some prime time NFL action? Tune in to Westwood One Sports for all the gridiron glory you crave. From jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-changing plays, don't miss a moment of the excitement. No. Catch every snap, every tackle, and every victory on Westwood One. You can listen to the NFL on the NFL app, on the Westwood One Sports app, on WestwoodOneSports.com via the Westwood One station streams, or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One. As always, ladies and gentlemen, right over my shoulder here, if you're watching on Rumble, there is a QR code there. If you're watching on a big screen TV, hold up your cell phone up there and click that. Let our advertisers know that you are interested in their products. Put your eyeballs on their stuff. It helps Pedro and I out. They're not even asking you for your money. They're just saying, hey, give us your eyeballs. See what they can do there. Helps us out, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching us on your phone or smart tablet or something like that, in the chat, there's a link to learn more about this. And of course, if you're watching on the replay and you've made it this far into the show, well, first of all, you're our hero. Second of all, click the link down below to go see WestwoodOneSports.com. Anyway, thanks to Westwood One Sports for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live.
DYOR Live.
And I don't know if you saw the note, Pedro, but I do got to get going here.
I saw it. I need to get going soon. All right.
I love that little ability to do that.
It's awesome. I have to admit, I saw it and I was like, all right, cool. One last thing I want to talk about here real quick. Since we're seeing we saw the huge sell-off over the weekend, I think some of the ones that we could be looking to purchase, and I think it just, we're talking 100, is, man, it's not working. All right, we've hit a couple of these liquidity areas. Like I said, HNT, I think is one of the hidden gems, I think, in the market. It looks like it's about to sell off down to a little area. So this price area of that $2 is good, but I like it also down at that 151 area. Also, not Crow, Cake literally bounced from 150 and it's shot all the way back, all the way up to 350. So literally doubled what it was doing. So again, we've been talking about Cake because I think the whole entire connection between Cake and BNB, and also I think CZ is very much invested in Cake as well. So I don't think that's a dead project. Anyways, that's about it right now. We're going to talk about that later on tomorrow and a few other things. Come tomorrow for Technical Tuesday. I know last week I wasn't here because I had to take care of some stuff. But this week, we're going to kind of go double down on a bunch of stuff I'm looking at and what I'm expecting over the week. And
double down.
Double down. Double trouble. Good times.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for you today on this special edition of DYOR Live here in the afternoon. Reporting on what happened, not what's going to happen. Anyway, Let's see. Let's play the outro here. Played kick tracks. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us today on this Monday, October 13th. Congratulations to all the families that got their loved ones back today over in Israel, and the condolences to all the families that have lost on either side of the equation. There have lost loved ones in this useless war. Hopefully, it's stopped now and it will not ever come back. I know that's hopeful, but oops, that was the wrong button. Well, Pedro, you're probably not hearing the music anyway, but anyway, as always, ladies and gentlemen, the man in the box next to me is Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. We'll be back again tomorrow, 12:05 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's not standard time yet, it's daylight time. UTC -4. We'll see you there tomorrow. Bye. Wrong button again.